I have a specs, and whereas my normal passport, like all the ICA platform has no specs in my passport photo. So there was a miscommunication, and I used to remove my specs for every 8 minutes because I checked like every 10 minutes there will be a face recognition on. So I faced very difficulties in the first 2 to 3 days, where I have completed only like 2 to 3 hours of the classes, 40 hours of law. Later, I think they have come up with an update, and I have also parallelly updated my photo with the specs photo in the ICA portal so that it will match with my face recognition. So that is one point. And secondly, they have recently come up with an update like face recognition is not properly matched. Like they are not looking into face recognition, then they're looking from a movement perspective. Like you need to have moved. So if there is no movement or you're like being idle, it is the videos are getting paused. So that was one another thing I have noticed. And later, how did I manage to complete within like 10 to 15 days the classes? So initially it was tough, but later how did I manage was I used to go to office, and later office at least for a day I used to take out around 2 to 3 hours. So 2 to 3 hours of time will go to this. So parallelly, what I used to do is I used to turn on the classes, and I used to have my law book. So whatever chapter he is telling, if it is the same chapter or the other chapter, I used to revise the law. So that's how my preparation was on, and at the same time my classes were also running. So that is one technique I used. And over the weekends, I had a Saturday and Sunday off, so I used the most of the hours, like 8 hours per weekend.
So,
So
Likhith, I
yeah.
just would like to ask one additional question here. Do you think those 40 hours of classes are they sufficient to appear in the SET examination? Or
Uh,
should the students do something more? Because just by watching 40 hours, will they be able to clear or not? That is one question which a lot of students do have.
okay. Yeah, practically speaking, the exact like 33 hours of the law which is being offered, I don't think so. It is well enough because they were covering quite good, but it's not exhaustive. I feel from an exam-oriented perspective.
Okay, then what was your approach then?
Okay, my approach was I actually done a self-study of reading the ICA modules, the both the modules, and along with some other faculty YouTube revision lectures of the previous attempts. So they
Okay.
would have covered from an exam-oriented perspective, like a revision video. So how I done was I used to refer the module, read it once, and then use it to see the revision video and note the important points, what the faculty says, and all those things.
Okay, right, fine. Yeah, then what are the other things? You had also shared a document, if you can share some inputs from that document. And then students, see, this is an interactive session. So only if you ask questions, me or Likhith will be able to help you, okay? He will definitely share his experience, how did he look and what was his exam days experience. But please feel free to ask questions. Only then we'll be able to add value to this session, right? Yes, like it. So overall preparation strategy and what type of questions were asked, how was the center and what all could you take, what all could you not take, if you can throw
Yeah.
some clarity on that.
Yeah, going forward, this is how I have completed my classes, and preparation was through the self study plus the YouTube videos, revision videos. So coming to the slot booking, yeah, I am coming from Nellore district of Andhra Pradesh. So in our place, there was the centers were open on a test basis, like weekend tests. So there were like seven seats available. So I booked it in the first go. So I got the seat.
Okay.
So that is from a slot booking perspective.
Okay. So then on the examination days, what all could you take and what was allowed in the center? How were the computers? How was the connectivity? Any issues there?
Okay. Yeah. From a guideline perspective, yeah, we are allowed to carry our admit card and a normal water bottle and a calculator. We can take our normal CA exam or a calculator with us.
Okay.
So that is allowed, and they will provide you a rough sheet. If you want extra rough sheet, they will provide, and you need to return those rough sheets back when you coming back from the examination.
Okay. And what type of questions were asked? Like, was it equally spread about across different sections, and or was it concentrated on few chapters? How were the questions? And
Uh,
how many questions from study material directly were tested?
Okay, here I think before directly coming here, I would like to like come a bit before like on a preparation from an MCQ oriented base. Once we our concepts are clear, I would like to practice like the normal ICA module MCQs, which were available in the module. Second, I practiced any other compiler you will get in the previous attempts compiler. So suggest any other compiler and do those MCQs. Third point, this is main point, refer BOS app MCQs. We have our Board of Studies app and our website. There we will get the MCQs and the case scenarios. So
yeah, please complete.
Yeah. So those MCQs were there. And the fourth point was our mock test paper and model test. I think they have released only one model test paper. So that was also quite helpful. So after completing these four, I think we are like well pledged with that topic. Like 90% of the answering status will be really good. And that's how I have done.
So just to recap, have a look at any past exam compilers for MCQs, then Board of Studies MCQs that you should practice, model test papers you should practice, and also study material MCQs, whatever is available that you should practice, right? So that covers the preparation part. So students, those of you who have joined in late and those of you who are on YouTube, I have shared the Zoom link there. So you can click on the Zoom link and join us on Zoom where you can directly interact, right? Now, that is the preparation part. So to summarize the preparation strategy, you can one is your 40 hours of the classes that you have to view. That is what you have to complete. Then he has backed it up with multiple YouTube revision videos and MCQ booklets, which was available for the earlier attempts. So that also becomes a very important thing. Now, that is the part. And one more doubt I had, how many students were there on the day you went to write the exams?
I was actually only one person.
Because I wanted to ask whether everybody got the same questions or they got different questions.
Not sure. Like I'm the only one from a CA background. There are total 7 seats. I am from this writing for the CA exam. Other 6 people came for insurance agent exams.
Sure. Okay. So now we have some questions coming up. Request others also to share their questions. First question is, have you watched full 40 hours of video?
You mean the self-paced module?
Self-paced module.
Yeah, not diligently stick to it, but yeah, for attendance perspective and normal the slides perspective, yeah, I have gone through those.
Okay. Then the next thing is it required to study section number in company law? How many questions were asked based on section numbers, and is it very important?
Okay. Here, I think there is only one chapter they are pressing on the sections. I think it's inspection, investigation, and inquiry, where the module MCQs, when I have practiced, I felt like more of section reference is used there. Apart from that, section numbers are not mandatory as such.
No, but in the examination,
because we are given a case study.
In the examination, how many questions did have section numbers?
Maybe 2-3 MCQs. 2 to 5 MCQs.
Okay, I think one thing what we all didn't ask, or when the students did not ask, were all the MCQs direct MCQs, or were all the MCQs case-based MCQs?
All are case-based MCQs, just like the model paper they have released.
Just like model paper, case-based MCQs. Okay.
Yes.
Then, how do you see? Can you see the case and the MCQs at the same time? How does it work on a computer perspective? How does it work?
On a computer perspective, if you divide 50-50 on a horizontal basis, the first 50 portion upward it will be the question, and the down will get the the first portion will be the paragraph,
yes,
and down will be the questions.
And you can independently scroll up and down for both.
Yes, there will be there will be a pop-up tab as well to read the total paragraph.
Okay, so that is one. Then how many total MCQs did you attempt, or were asked? 50.
So
total number 50. Of MCQs.
50.
Okay, fine. So I think that is one thing what covers. And can you come back and change your answers? Can you go forward and change the answers?
Yes.
That is also done. Okay. So that was the second one. Then third question from Vindhya: is the weightage given for law actually in practice for the SPOM exam? So was the question based on the weightage that the ICI is given, or it was random? What do you feel?
It was fairly as per the weightage, but I personally felt in my paper IBC and winding up chapters were kind of dominant, but weightage
IBC
was fairly
and winding up. Okay.
Yes.
And which author's MCQ booklet did you refer to?
I used some I think previous attempt Pankaj Garg MCQ.
Pankaj Garg MCQ. Okay. Were there a lot of questions on insolvency and bankruptcy code? I think he clarified that. What is the difficulty level? Okay, what was your score and what is the difficulty level?
I actually scored a 66 out of 100.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you. And the difficulty level, actually, I personally did not, I kept IBC and SEBI to the last of my preparation. And it got a dominant portion in my paper. So I felt it medium to tough.
Medium. Okay.
But
Fine. So
on an overall, I think it's, yeah, medium. Not so tough, not so easy.
Okay. So can you undo any answer? I think we already discussed we can undo any, undo the answers that you have written. Great. So that is one. And what is your plan for set B?
SCMP. So yeah, I am preparing for it whenever the time persists.
Okay.
And I have gone through the case scenarios as well in the BOS app. There are like around 37 case scenarios. I'm just filtering it and I'm doing the self studies. I'm planning to give it in around mid of June.
Mid of June. Okay, so there's a lot of congratulatory messages coming from students. A question from Yashwant: how many days did you study? So initially you had mentioned that you can just how many days did you take to prepare for the SPOM set paper?
Okay. To be fair, I have done one reading of module during March, I think, when I get the normal time. So for this videos and proper preparation, I think 10 days.
Okay, so two things, friends. It is not only the videos, it is also he has completed one reading of module before. Okay, then these videos and revisionary lectures of available on YouTube, right, Likhith?
Yes.
Yes, so that is how it has been. So I think one thing that comes out very clearly is just by completing the SPOM video lectures, it may not be sufficient. So Vindhya is asking, is one reading sufficient for preparation, like one reading of the study material?
Yeah, one proper reading along with memorization of time limits and numerical limits. I think that will be from an MCQ approach. Yes.
Completing the module, first thing, then memorizing the time, memorizing the penalty limits and all,
yes,
and practicing MCQs from sources. Again, I'm repeating for those of you who have joined in late. He mentioned MCQs from BOS portal, from model test papers, and from past exam compilers and study material. This you have to complete, and one reading of study material would be sufficient. MCQ is 2 marks. So there are 50 MCQs, 2 marks each. One very good question Antara has asked, a relevant question actually. Did any case studies come from BOS portal directly, or were there any direct copy-paste questions from BOS knowledge portal?
Okay.
Or BOS portal MCQ?
Yeah, direct model question, I think it came for around 6 to 12 marks.
Okay, and that is it. But okay, did you get same type of questions? Forget the case study. Did you get questions that you had practiced from BOS portal?
Yeah, from the BOS portal, the same, like the name change, the same type of question, the same type of testing is applied for like around 6 to 12 marks. And coming from the past compilers, I did see around like 8 to 10 marks come.
Okay, so about 10 to 15 to 20 marks you can expect from that.
Yes.
Okay, great. Fine. Any more questions? And or to summarize, what would be the concluding remarks for the students who have joined in? And I will just take a minute and I will maybe share the PDF what Likhith had shared with me earlier. So in the meanwhile, Likhith, you can continue and you can tell them final tips how to prepare, which areas to focus on.
Yeah, so that's how once you have done with the proper reading and once you are done with the classes, just apply for this slot and just focus on the case-based scenarios. One of the mistake I have done is I was solving more and more of direct MCQs, which were never asked in the examination. So better go from a case-based analysis. And how to manage time here is that I used to solve the question first, go to the question and solve it. If I'm unable to get the linkage of the question, then refer the case study. So that's how we can go a bit fast of the time. And yeah, it helped me. And yeah, that's how it was. And if possible, refer to any author's book from a compact book perspective, like any summary book or anything, or prepare your own summary notes. That will be most ideal. So that on the last day, you can just revise those and directly go, because module reading at the last minute is very, very difficult. So prepare a concise notes. So that's the thing. If anyone have any doubts, you can just...
Yeah, so I would just like to add one more thing here, what Likhith mentioned, right? Reading the questions first. So that is what we also suggest for IBS paper as well, because case study will have a lot of unwanted information. Okay. And some of the questions may be direct. You don't even need to read for example, they say, what is the penalty that this company has to pay for not filing, let us say, annual return, just for example. So those penalty, if you already know, it doesn't matter what is the company or what is there in the question, correct? So one more question is, what level of questions did it involve deep concepts? What were the concepts tested in deep?
In some areas, yes, but in some areas, it was like a normal. It was like a straightforward question. Like in SEBI, they just asked it straight question like, if a person is insider, has done an insider trading, what was the penalty? And in some cases, they asked an in-depth time limit question, like once a corporate debtor has been filed and has been filed in an IBC application, what are the time limits in that specifically? So it was a mix of depth and the slight questions.
Yeah. So one more thing, what Likhith had shared with me earlier, and I think this is quite going around in Telegram groups and WhatsApp groups as well. So these are the things I think very nice of him to remember and put down. So Likhith, if you can just quickly go through this, and then we'll wind up the session.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the exam is totally on case-based MCQs. And yeah, in my test paper, they asked about section 230, like the compromise arrangements. And coming to the section 197, which deals with our net profit calculation for remuneration purpose, make sure you practice it well, because they are giving a slight adjustments and asking the effect of the adjustment of it. So make sure you remember what adjustments will be asked in section 187. Coming to the prevention of oppression and mismanagement, they were just tested on a director's point, like how can the director be removed? Like here in this specific chapter, we need to be stressing on who are the authorities and whom we can approach, because that chapter has a CG, NCLAT, and our RBI. Sorry, not RBI. The normal ROC. So these three authorities, there might be a difference in powers. So that is one point needs to be taken care. And FEMA, it was really smooth. Maybe because of my articleship experience, I can tell. But it was normal. FEMA and FCRA were smooth, and directly case studies from BOS app. And SEBI was kind of tricky, because ICDR is a chapter where it is like a huge, humongous, and they did ask some random question from ICDR, which was kind of tough for me. And I think ICDR, takeover code and insider trading were new concepts which are introduced now in self-paced modules, and doing those will be very helpful, because those are being tested and kind of very fast when compared to LODR and ICDR, where there are many limits. Here, these are very concept oriented, takeover code and insider trading. And winding up, yeah, they did ask about timelines related thing. And there are case studies on a strike off, winding up, and other things. And political contribution, it is testing about around section 182 or 183, if I'm not wrong. And time limits is very much important, and penalties as well, very much important.
So I think one thing what all of you can do is, students either get some, summary of penalties, or prepare your own list. What is the penalty? Keep on revising penalties and time limits. There you can score. There are no negative markings as far as I remember. Likhith, there are
Yes,
no negative markings, right?
no negative marking.
No, so there are no negative markings. So that is very clear. And by when do you get to know the results after the exams are done?
Instant.
So submit and you get the result.
Yes. So for demo, the ICA has launched a link as well. Once you guys,
Okay.
like, anyone can click the demo link and see the total pattern, how the exam portal looks like.
Okay.
So once we go through, and there will be before the last 5 minutes only, we can submit the test. Before that, we cannot submit. Even if you complete the exam in 1 hour, you need to sit in the exam hall for the 3 hours.
Oh, okay. So you have to spend that time.
Yes. So in the last, after the 175 minutes or so, they will allow the done button. Once you click it, there will be 3 times warnings, like finish, finish, finish. There will be a summary of our answered questions, not answered, bookmarked questions, everything. So once we have clicked everything and finished it, the scorecard will come.
Oh, okay.
With
So instant
exam
results
result
are
as successful or not successful, how many marks you have scored. That's it.
okay, great. So congratulations once again on clearing, and
Thank you.
thanks a lot for taking time out. Okay, so I think he has cleared a lot of doubts, and I know there are still issues on portal, fast forwarding issues, this issue, that issue. Face recognition is done. please keep writing to ICI help desk so that once they get to know that these are the issues, they will resolve it. Okay.
And one thing
Because
was, in my paper, there was an instant result came that I have passed. But the next day, when I have downloading my scorecard in the portal, my result came as absent and null. So
okay.
I instantly wrote to the exam form. First, I have called to the toll free, and they have told to mail us. So I have mailed them with all the issues. And one good thing is I have taken a scan of my admit card. In the admit card, there will be signature of invigilator. So I took
Okay.
a scan of it and I have given my scorecard, which is showing absent, and I have mailed them telling that I have did attend my exam and it was shown that I am successful. But the portal, like in the exam portal, it is the result is showing successful, but the marks are showing nil.
Hmm.
So I wrote the them within afternoon they have called back me and told that issue got resolved and I got my scorecard.
Okay. So see, there are issues. Please keep highlighting the issues. Okay, that is what will help you. Thanks a lot for all of you for joining in, and all the best for your preparation. All the best to Likith also for your set B and the upcoming November examination.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Well, this is live on YouTube, so you can share it with your friends as well. Some of the tips and tricks would be helpful. Right. So there is one question, Antara, for me, FR classes. You have reached up to leases in the order. How much time do you think I would take to finish it? Just an estimate. I am following the order of videos. So Antara, are you there in our WhatsApp group? Yeah. So you can just ping me there. We can have a call and we can see, how much time are you taking and how is it going, how the progress is going. Okay. Right. Sure. Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot, Likith, once again, and all the best to everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the
Thank
opportunity.
you. Yeah. Applicability of Set C and Set D, I have written to couple of Central Council members. I'm waiting a response from them. Okay, Purna? I'm waiting a response for them. There is some confusion. See, one is if you have your specific case, whatever is there, you can message me and I'll respond to that. If you don't have, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, you can post it in our forums. From there, I will respond to you. IPCC, people have come from IPCC, students who have come from IPCC. I'm specifically discussing a couple of cases from the students. I'm waiting for a response. Once I get the response, this case, IPCC 4 papers, Inter 3 papers. See, to be frank, it should be only Set A and Set B. But I don't know why they have decided to make one of Set C and Set D to be mandatory. I have written it to them. Exactly same case is there with one more student. The moment I get a response, I will update you guys. Krishna, these number of times conducting exams, I think the slots, you have to see what slots are available. And then you have to book your respective slots. Okay, chalo. Thanks a lot and prepare well.